Welcome back. Well, are you looking for the correct exercise, maybe for yourself or maybe for your patrons in your gym? Well, look no further than ActivCore, and I'm here with Dick. And Dick, I must say I'm really impressed. You have some heavy hitters endorsing your product, and not only is it a great exercise, but it looks like a lot of fun. Tell us a little bit about the story behind this.
Well, I got involved with this. My brother-in-law is a pretty famous exercise physiologist from the University of Michigan, and he saw this tool, he and his brother, in Norway, and basically told me about this tool that was able to stabilize muscles and joints and really get to muscles that you couldn't get to any other way. And so I went to a demonstration at the University of Michigan, and what really intrigued me was my wife, who was an all-American swimmer, had not been able to raise her arms over this height for many, many, many years. And the Norwegians looked at her and said, well, I think that your muscles just aren't activated. Let's activate them, and maybe you'll be able to get full range of motion. And literally 15 minutes later, my wife's going like this for the first time in years. And then I became in love.
That is amazing, especially for, that short amount of period to see that increase in flexibility. And the other thing I really like about it is it really is applicable to all ages, from small all the way up to the geriatric.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing about this, and we'll talk a little bit about how this is gradable, but exercises can be done for 80-year-old, 90-year-old, all the way down to a Michael Phelps could get on this thing, and it could be the hardest thing in the world. So,
well, right now, Dick, who are we going to meet to tell us a little bit more about the nuts and bolts of this?
Well, my brother-in-law is Dr. Victor Ketch from the University of Michigan, and he would like to talk to you. He's the Chief Science Officer. And then Dr. Art Weltman from the University of Virginia. They're doing studies there on the efficacy of this and some of the benefits of this type of exercise.
Joining us right now is Dr. Victor Ketch from the University of Michigan. And Dr. Ketch, as I understand, you're very passionate about this. Tell us what you found.
Well, I am very passionate about this. This is one of the few times that I found an exercise program that can adapt to as many people as possible. Easy to do, it's fun, it's gradable, and it uses all the principles of biology, of biomechanics, and physiology to get just a terrific workout for almost everybody. So I have found this to be just a terrific piece of equipment, and not just equipment, but a whole methodology. So we've developed whole systems of exercise for everybody, and it's really superior. It's brilliant.
Now, we've already heard great stories about how it's improved range of motion, but I see there's exercises for strength and really the whole core.
It is. This is a premier sort of functional strength development, functional exercise training. So it can be used for all segments, for the upper body, for the neck, the abdomen, particularly the pelvic and the abdominal core, the lower legs, the buttocks. So it's a wonderfully adapted exercise. You can literally put yourself into, we've now have over 2,000 exercises that are all gradable, from very easy, so my mom could do it, she's now deceased, but when she was 80 or 90, she could easily do it, to someone who's really a very high-level performance athlete. Now, Bill, we're going to reverse the roles, and you're going to do the exercise. I'm going to interview you and see how you like this.
Okay,
so let's start with one exercise. Put your hands in here and get your elbows at 90 degrees, all the way out. There you go, and hold it. Now, just for fun, we'll see how strong your shoulder and core is. Lift this arm up. Good. Down. The other one. Terrific. Hold it. Come back. And now we've now increased the lever arm, so it's now going to be harder for you to do this a little bit, okay? Come out with your arms straight, all the way out. Come forward. There you go. Hold it. How you doing? Hold it. See if you can lift that arm up. Good. Hey, you're pretty strong. Other arm. Good. Now back. Good. Okay, so what did you feel now?
I found my breaking point.
Yeah. Tell me how you feel right now when you're doing it.
I feel really good.
Yeah.
I feel like I've actually done something.
Yeah. Where do you feel it? Where in the body?
I feel it right in here.
And yet you were doing shoulder exercises.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
You know why? Is because almost all the muscles from the shoulder girdle and the arm are tied into muscles that attach to the core.
Wow.
And so all rotary motion, all appendicular motions eventually have to be coordinated from the core. Okay? So you gain stability by creating instability. And that's why this is such a unique piece of equipment, because we create controlled instability.
Well, Victor, right now we're going to go talk to Dr. Art Weltman to talk about some of the research backing up these claims. I want to thank you for being on.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Joining us right now is Dr. Art Weltman from the University of Virginia. And Art, as I understand, you're where the rubber meets the road. You're finding out if the research backs up the claims. And what did you find?
Well, we've been very fortunate because we have an unrestricted grant to do research on ActivCore and RedCord. And basically whatever we find, we find. So we have 2 lines of research going on right now, one in our exercise physiology lab to look at the fitness component, and another one in our sports medicine athletic training laboratory to look at the rehab performance component. And so we've got a couple of studies that we've already finished. One was with our women's softball team. And basically what we did was we substituted ActivCore exercises for traditional strength training, and we looked at throwing velocity. And this was in the off season, so it didn't interfere with their in-season softball. And what we found was that the women that trained using ActivCore pushes and pulls as opposed to doing, say, bench presses, increased their throwing velocity by 2 miles an hour. And the women that trained traditionally didn't change their throwing velocity at all. Now, in spite of the fact that the women who were doing ActivCore, in spite of the fact that they didn't bench press, they still improved their bench press to the same degree as the women who did bench press. So you don't seem to lose any of the strength components, and because it activates all the muscles involved in functional exercise, it seemed to translate to better performance. On the sports medicine side, we have a study going on right now where we're looking at non-specific low back pain, and we're comparing ActivCore activation compared to traditional floor exercises for treating low back pain. And while we haven't finished that study yet, the results seem really promising. It seems like the ActivCore arm of the study has more promising results than the traditional training part of the study.
Those are amazing results. And I have to imagine if I'm a softball coach, I want all my girls training with this, especially after learning the results.
Well, yeah, and this was a pilot study, and we were fortunate because the coach of the softball team allowed us to use her players. And now at UVA, we have a number of athletes that use this on a regular basis. A lot of our golfers use it, a lot of our throwing athletes, baseball players, softball players, some of the football players, soccer players. We have a lot of people that use this not only as part of their warm-up, but also as part of their training. And our strength and conditioning coach has a master's degree in exercise physiology, and he saw the utility of this right away. So he has about 10 units in the strength and conditioning area that he has available for the athletes to use. Our sports medicine group has 2 of the professional units that they use for therapy with the athletes. So it's gained a lot of traction at UVA.
Well, Art, with that said, I know you have to have the attention of all of our viewers. What's the best way for them to learn more about ActivCore?
Well, they can see some of the results of our research and learn more about the system on the website. It's www.activcore.com. It's ActivCore.
Easy enough. Well, Art, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Oh, my pleasure.